Today, I'm going to pick a random grave and research their life. So let's go.
We were back in the Hardwick Cemetery in Kings Lynn, looking for an old grave with Clare writing.
I've chosen the grave of Albert Edward Petts, who passed away in 1931, aged just 24. Also buried here is his mother and father. So I'm going to go home, research his life, and see what I can find.
The father, Thomas James Petts, was born in 1862 in Diss, Norfolk, to John Petts and Eliza Crick. His father was originally from Kings Lynn, and on the 8th of November 1885 he married Eleanor Smith at St Nicholas Church, Kings Lynn. They had a son John in 1886, and he was followed by Thomas in 1889 and Eliza in 1891. A daughter Margaret was born in 1894, George in 1901, and finally Albert Edward in 1907.
The family lived in Begley's Yard, which was once situated behind me.
The area was known as the fishing community, but Thomas worked as a shoemaker. In 1909, their son Thomas went to live in America, and this photo was taken to mark the occasion. Their daughter Eliza married in 1913, John in 1914, and Margaret in 1916. By the late 1920s, they had moved to 34 George Street, with George and Albert the only two children still living at home. Tragedy struck the family in October 1931. The headline said, "Lynn workman gassed." It said, a verdict of accidental death from carbon monoxide poisoning was returned at an inquest yesterday upon Albert Edward Petts, 24, a fitter of George Street, Lynn, who died in the Lynn Hospital in the early hours of Wednesday morning from the effects of a mishap at the sugar beet factory where he was employed. Petts had in the course of his work last Saturday morning to enter a tank at the factory. He was overcome by gas, and other men who went to his assistance were also affected. The gas was generated in the lime kiln and would pass through a pump into a large carbonation tank, from which it should go out into the atmosphere by the way of a chimney pump. By some means or other, gas must have got into this small float tank. This has happened before, but not to this tank, which had been newly installed. The technical manager was asked if this has happened before. He said they had one fatal case before in Holland, but had none there since the factory was established in 1922. One of his co-workers, called Hammond, said he held his breath as long as possible, but he could not lift him. He said he was too heavy and the gas came over him. After a 5-minute absence, the jury returned a verdict that the death was due to gas poisoning. The jury extended their sympathy to the bereaved relatives. His father Thomas passed away in 1936, aged 74. His wife Eleanor went to live with their daughter Margaret at the Victoria Hotel. The hotel was bombed in 1942, where she tragically lost her 16-year-old granddaughter. She passed away in 1946, aged 82. Our last stop was to pay our respects, so rest in peace, you will be remembered.